Alright, so today I'd like to just kind of go over data packs in general to some extent. Going to be focusing more on my mods in particular, but I'm hoping I can cover some information that will just kind of help people get started with data packs in general. So I went ahead and created a world for this, and we'll be coming back to that in a moment. So the first thing you want to do when you're creating a data pack is to go into, well, create a world like I did, and then you'll want to go into your saves folder. So in if you're using the vanilla launcher, you could type %appdata%, and in there will be a .minecraft folder, saves, and then you should see something that matches the name of your world, more or less. And then in there is a data packs folder. So let's go ahead and create a new folder in here and just call it, I don't know, example data pack. Okay, and in that new folder, I'm going to go ahead and paste this file here. Let me edit this. So we need this pack.mcmeta file, which just has a little bit of information about our pack. Let me see, about increasing the size. That should be nice and easy to read, right? So pack format right now is 4. I'm not entirely sure what the number means or when it's going to change, but we use 4 right now. And the description, there is actually a way that we can see that. And let me see, I don't know if just the pack.mcmeta is enough to actually see the data pack. So I just gave the reload command. This will reload any data packs. Now I'm going to list data packs, and I've got quite a few mods installed here as well, but we can see right here we got file/example data pack. So that is what we had just created. Okay, so back here, let's go ahead and create a folder called data. And what do we want to do first? I guess we could just add a recipe of some sort. So let's go ahead and create a folder with our own namespace. Example data pack, something like that. Doesn't really matter what it is as long as it's something unique. And in there, let's create a recipes folder. And finally, let's grab something from the vanilla Minecraft jar. Let's grab a shaped recipe. Slabs would be shaped. So go ahead and copy that. And let's do like sticks from logs. Something like that. So then we let's go ahead and set a pattern, so just one log on top of another will do that. And I believe there is a tag for logs, so we can just do that. And we'll say this makes, how many sticks would that be? 16? Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, and the group, let's go ahead and get rid of the group. We don't want to group that with any existing recipes. And that should be good. So just a vanilla shaped recipe here. It's going to be one log on top of the other, and that will make some sticks. Now let's go ahead and test that. No need to restart the game, just do the reload command. Gonna lag a little bit. Let's grab a crafting table. And some logs. And try it out. So there we go, there's a recipe. And let me make sure, did I get the math right on that? Yeah, I did. So just like that, we've added a new recipe to the game with a data pack. This can be done in vanilla, it can be done in modded. Okay, so say if we wanted to override an existing recipe, let's actually go back up into data. And let's create a Minecraft folder. So that's Minecraft, all lowercase. And in here, we're going to have a recipes folder. And let's go ahead and grab something like, I don't know, Acacia Stairs. Let's override that recipe. So you may notice, looking at 7-zip here, the path in the Minecraft jar that I'm in is currently data Minecraft recipes. You'll notice this is where I am in the data pack. So I'm at the same location. I've got a file with the same name, so it's going to override the existing one. And let's change it so it makes 8 stairs instead of 4. Alright, and just like that, we've overridden a vanilla recipe. Okay, so let's take a look at something a little bit different. So I've got the treasure bags mod. Why don't we go ahead and add a new type of treasure bag? So we'll go ahead and do this in our data packs namespace. And for treasure bags, I believe we need a folder called treasure bags in there. And then I believe it is bag types. Is there a quick way I can check that? I'll just go with it and fix it if it doesn't work. Yeah, actually, let me just double check on that. Treasure bags, bag types, yeah, okay. So I'll go ahead and copy one of these. Just copy the text from an existing file. And let's go ahead and create this in VS Code. You can use whatever editor you like. I recommend VS Code. It's very good for editing JSON, and you can even open an entire folder here. So you can see I went ahead and just opened our example data pack, or actually I opened the data packs folder. And then I could go ahead and just open up any of the files from here. So let's call this example bag. Loot table is going to be, what did I call it? Example data pack underscore data pack. And we'll leave it like that. So bag slash example. I don't know the names of the colors. Blue, red, green. It's going to be absolutely hideous, I'm sure. And we want this in the bag types folder. Let's call you example.json. Alright. So now we need a loot table for the treasure bag. Let's go ahead and go back to our namespace folder, add a loot tables folder. And here I'll add a bags folder because that's where I told it the loot table would be. And in there, just go ahead and write a quick loot table. So just do one roll. We need a table name when we're working with a loot table in Forge. And just call this one main. Entries, let's do Minecraft loot table. Is that what I'm thinking it is? We'll find out in a minute. Name Minecraft chests simple dungeon. So just make it drop the same thing as like the vanilla basic dungeons. Obviously, in this case, it'd probably be better to point the bag type straight to that loot table, but this is just a dumb example. Loot tables, bags, example.json. Now let's try that out. See if treasure bags was able to detect that. We've got example data pack example. Okay, so let's try giving ourselves one of those bags. All right, so it looks like that was successfully created, and if we right-click it, okay, so I did get everything right. It gave us some loot that you would have gotten from a simple dungeon chest. And yeah, I did. Gems does modify that loot table, so there's a couple extra things in there as well. I'll just clear my inventory. Alright, so that's adding a treasure bag type, so typically 2 files in that case, the bag type file, and then a loot table, or you can just point it to an existing loot table. Okay, so let's look into adding a recipe for a specific mod. In this case, it'll be the new Silence Mechanisms mod that was born from my Discord server. So let's that can just go in the normal recipes folder. And in a lot of my mods, I make a crushing folder for the crushing recipes, but I don't think I'll do that in this case. Let me just see. Everything is so big, I don't have much room to look at stuff here. Okay, there's recipes. I'll go ahead and make a new file there. And what do we want to do with the crusher? I don't know, can we just do something dumb like a clay block into clay balls? I know, what if we turn terracotta into clay? That's something a bit more interesting. So yeah, it's just terracotta. I don't know if these are in a tag. No, they're not in a tag. Okay, so this recipe will only match the basic undyed one. That'll be fine. So, doesn't really matter what it's called. Just paste that in and I'll make a few modifications to it. So, our ingredient is Minecraft terracotta. And our results. Let's see, I always forget which way clay goes. Is it? Yeah, it's clay for the full block, clay ball for the balls. Which one do I want it to make? We'll just do the clay balls. And I am just making all kinds of mistakes there. Alright, and I don't think it makes sense to have a second output for this recipe. So let's just do that. One interesting thing you can do with recipes in Forge. This is not in vanilla as far as I know. You can have a conditions array. So you could do something like type forge mod loaded, I think it is. And then mod ID. And then we'll say that's the mod ID of Silence Mechanisms. So in this case, this recipe file will be ignored if that mod is not loaded. So if you're not sure if the data pack will be used in a specific recipe that you've written is in your data pack, you can add a condition like this, and that will prevent it from spamming errors in the log by trying to load a recipe it doesn't know anything about. Okay, so looks like that recipe was successfully loaded. Alright, and one last thing we can do here is let's go ahead and add that to a zip file. And I'm going to delete the folder as an example. So let's reload again. And check our recipes. Okay, that is not loaded. I bet I made a mistake there, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, so what I actually wanted was the contents of the folder in the zip. So in this case, the root level of the zip is going to have data and your pack.mcmeta. Go ahead and put that in the data packs folder. Just showing an example of how you might distribute a data pack or use one that you've downloaded. You can just, no need to extract the zip file or anything. You could just drop it straight into the data packs folder, supposedly. Why is that not working? Okay, I don't know how, but this folder did not get a name. Or maybe I undid that at some point. That should be bags. Okay, now let's try zipping this one more time. Okay, I actually had to restart the game there because it did not want to let go of that zip file for some reason. But let's see if we got everything working this time. Yes, so it was just that accidental... I don't know how that folder ended up being renamed to new folder, but yeah, that was the cause of the problem. So you can see I've just got the zip file here. So obviously if you're working on your data pack, you want to just leave it in a folder like that. But if you're ready to share it and distribute it, put it in a zip file so you can easily upload it somewhere. And if you're downloading a data pack, you just have to drop the zip file into your data packs folder. Okay, so I hope this was helpful as a quick overview of data packs. Obviously, I didn't really go too in-depth into any of the JSON files I've written. If you're wanting to add stuff to my mods, like I showed treasure bags, I've showed the crusher recipes here, I've been pretty good about updating and maintaining the wikis on GitHub. So you can usually find examples on there, and like I showed before, you can just go grab a file, copy it, modify it, and that's a pretty good way to handle this. And again, I do recommend VS Code. I believe Atom is another good editor. Sublime is a popular choice, but I don't have much experience with that one. I've been using VS Code and happy with it for the most part. Sometimes it can be a little weird about formatting files, but it's been behaving itself lately, for me at least. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on whatever I do next.